Welcome, everybody, to the 2025 NCAA Tournament Round of 64 press conference. A couple of announcements before we begin. As a courtesy to your fellow media members, as well as the coaches and student athletes, please silence your cell phones. Please provide your name and media affiliation each time you ask a question during the press conferences. If you are joining on Zoom, please use the raise hand function for questions. We will address questions in the room first and get to Zoom if time allows. Recording press conferences on cell phones or cameras is prohibited. We are joined by Southern University head coach Carlos Funches and student athletes Anaya Gordine and Dakaya Sanders. We'll begin with an opening statement from Coach.
Well, I knew it was going to be a heavyweight battle. Their size was a major factor tonight. They did a great job rebounding the basketball, and they shot it exceptionally well, especially from three. Against a team like this, you have to pick your poison. I mean, either you're going to try to stop them from scoring inside, or you're going to have to give them some threes. So, we tried to mix it up a little bit. We tried to play some zone, but they was knocking down shots. So it was really tough to try to keep them off balance offensively. And I thought in that third quarter we just had some shots, but we just never could get going. Their size was a major factor, contesting a lot of shots.
Please raise your hand if you have a question.
Tuke Newman with the LA Times. For either of our players, I know it's kind of raw right now, but you guys did achieve history for this program. So what has this season meant to you guys to be able to be on the stage?
It meant everything. I wouldn't want to do it with nobody else. We fought hard to the end. We knew it was going to be a tough game. We wanted to get this game, but we came up short. But I'm so proud of the team, what we was able to do and make history.
As I previously stated in our first press conference, this is my first year with Southern, and I just want to thank the coaching staff and thank the team for welcoming me and just allowing this to be the best experience for my last year of collegiate basketball. Like Naya said, I wouldn't rather want to do it with anyone else. I'm so proud of the girls, some of the best, strongest, toughest girls I've ever played with.
Congratulations, Kurt Sandoval from KABC TV. Congratulations on a great season. Tough draw to get a number one seed, the number one seed overall. How far do you expect them to go? Are they as good as advertised?
I did. They're a good team. They had, like Coach Funches said, they good inside and outside, so I think that will help them a lot. Betts is an exceptional player, so I think they'll go pretty far.
They're not number one for no reason, so I just feel like if they have that seed, they're capable to go as far, as they worked for.
Dennis Freeman, News for Us Online. This question for Coach. Coach, at the beginning of the third quarter, you guys were still within striking distance. Did you feel your team still had a chance to make a run?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. I thought if we knocked down a few shots, we could continue to keep our confidence really, really high. We ran some good things execution-wise. We just missed a few shots. And they had something to do with that because their length. I mean, it's hard to shoot over 6'2" and 6'3", and they made everything tough. Everything we got tonight, we had to earn.
Eric Orawara, Daily Bruin. You guys had, an 8-0 run to close the second quarter. Obviously, in the third, you were limited to 7 points. What was working in the end of the second quarter, and I guess what changed coming out after halftime?
Well, I thought we hit shots. We got shots in the third quarter, but unlike the close of the second quarter, we just missed some. And there wasn't bad misses, but they were misses. And you don't get many good looks against a team like this. They are a really good defensive team, especially with 6'2" and 6'3" out on that perimeter guarding you.
Harvey Jones with the LA Sentinel. You had mentioned like it was a struggle to defensively and to stop them as well. Can you talk about what was your message to the team going into the game?
We had to play a physical game, and I thought we started out not really being as tough as we needed to, but we settled down a little bit in that second quarter. We kind of got into a flow on both ends of the court. We were driving the basketball extremely hard to the basket, and we scored a few. And defensively, we were physical with them and boxing out strong and getting some O-boards.
Hi, Haley Sawyer, SoCal News Group. Dakaya, you're 5'4", but UCLA also had a 5'4" player. I know you mentioned that they had the size advantage, but London was out there, smaller than the rest, really battling, giving it her all. You went up against her a couple times. What was it like being out there with her and against her?
I think she's a great player, playing for a great team. It's great to see somebody, my height that that's at the level, that she is. So I just commend her for that. Like, I applaud her for being, at UCLA. And just playing-wise, great to play against her, too. It's nice playing against somebody my size, so, yeah.
Any more questions in the room? Well, Dennis is right here.
Dennis Freeman, News for Us Online. For the student athletes, what does it mean for your team to represent HBCUs in the NCAA tournament?
It means everything. I think a lot of people underestimate HBCUs. They don't really believe that we belong here. So I think that it was huge for us to go and get that big win, which is why we won the UCLA game so bad. But it's huge for HBCUs. I think we shining light. Norfolk State shining light. So I think it's huge, putting us on the bracket for all the little girls who might want to go to HBCUs. I think it's huge.
Any more questions? We'll go to Rob Knox on Zoom. A reminder to unmute yourself.
Hey, Naya and Dakaya, this is for you all.
Hey. How you doing?
Hey, can each of you just share at least like one or two non-basketball memories that you'll take away from this experience? Like, was there like a police escort, to the hotel, was something at the hotel, or just being in LA or something like that that really enhanced your NCAA experience?
Okay. Well, I'm not sure if a lot of you know, but my fiance plays for Alabama State, who made it to the past their first round as well. So I think that was pretty big because we got a lot of recognition for that, and I'm also very proud of them too because he also goes to a HBCU.
I would say just the full experience. This is my first time. It was everything I ever dreamed of. So I think just the experience alone, I always wanted this moment. So I'm just grateful for the experience.
And the atmosphere is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, just being in the atmosphere is crazy.
And then just as a follow-up to you, Dakaya, what was those conversations like with you and your fiance just throughout the week? Obviously y'all played on different days, so obviously y'all had the opportunity, to probably watch each other's games and then and chat. What was some of those conversations like?
A lot of FaceTime.
Yeah. It was a lot of FaceTime and just really staying locked in and just kind of taking this moment for what it is, taking it as far as we could for as long as we could. Just continuously telling him to play his game and do the best he can for his team and bring whatever he needs to bring and me with mine.
Well, thank you. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate everything y'all did this year, and it's been a blessing to document your journey throughout the season.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rob.
We'll end it there unless you have any closing remarks, Coach.
Well, I'm just so proud of these young ladies. They started on June the 3rd, getting ready for this moment, trying to get here. And all the work that they put in paid off. And they not just exceptional young ladies on the basketball court. I mean, DK is in grad school right now. Anaya will be graduating this summer. Over the last 7 years, we had 27 seniors. All 27 have graduated. We have a 100% graduation rate. And, traveling a lot and with the rigors of basketball, maintaining those academics. Last semester, we had a 3.0. I mean, it's really tough. So they've done a great job both on the court and off the court.
Thank you, Southern.
Thank you.
We are joined now by UCLA head coach Corey Close, student athletes Kiki Rice and Janiyah Barker. We're going to begin with the opening statement from Coach Close.
Man, does Southern play hard. They one of the top teams in the country at forcing turnovers for a reason, because they just play so hard. Their ability to sit in a stance and to sit down and guard for long periods of time is really admirable, I should say. I just have a lot of respect for how hard they play. So all the credit to them. I think I loved how we responded in the third quarter defensively. I think that's really where we got to have urgency all the time. And we couldn't have more different game plans here. But no matter what the game plan is, be counted on to do your job. And I thought the second quarter, we lost track of that a little bit. But I was proud of how they responded, especially in the third. I don't care about anything else other than we earned a chance to try to go 1-0 again.
We'll start with questions for the players. Please raise your hand.
Tuke Nguyen with the LA Times, JB. This is your first year playing with Lauren on this team. She's such a unique player, such a dominant player. When you come in and play with someone like her, are there parts of, do you have to learn how to play with a player like her, and how have you kind of progressed in that, and how has this team progressed in that?
It's really easy to play with a big that's really skilled and, good at her job. Lauren is a cheat code. We talked yesterday. Left, right, up, down, A button a couple of times. So it's really just a blessing to have her on the team, you know what I'm saying? And it's been nothing but easy because not only is she a great player, she's a great leader as well, and she leads the team. And we follow her right behind her lead.
Kurt Sandoval from KABC TV. I was wondering what Coach Close just said about you're in the right to go 1-0. From a student-athlete standpoint, what's the kind of mental, emotional challenge in the next 24, 48 hours, and how different is it compared to those 32 games in the regular season?
Yeah, I think it's nice now because we're out of school. We're done with finals on break, so we have some more time to just mentally relax and everything. But I do think it's a quick turnaround. But you just we're fully focused on preparing for Richmond and getting ready for that physically, mentally, making sure our bodies are right, and just the scout. But it does help that we're not in school and have some more time and everything. But it's quick at this time of the year. Turnaround is very quick, and you haven't played these teams, so a lot is new. But we get used to it and stuff.
For the both of you, Mike Regalado, Bruin Report. As Coach said, things are a little bit slow, and I don't want to say it's a pattern this season, but it kind of showed up again today. How do you play through that? And what do the coaches tell you? What do you tell yourselves when you find that things aren't going your way? And as we saw, you were successful the rest of the way.
Yeah, I think we just got to continue to be focused on coming out from the start of the game with intensity. And I think the first quarter we did well. We did that, but we had too many slips today, and just our focus and our our attention to detail, because at this point of the year every single team is very good and very talented, so you don't want to give any room for teams to make runs to come back and everything. But it's hard to be focused the entire time, but at this point of the year we have to do that.
Yeah, I think piggyback off what she said, basketball's a game of runs, and something that's going to happen is the other team's going to go on a run. It just depends on how we snap back to it, you know what I'm saying? So I think we need to have a quicker reaction time to the run so that we can control the game and make sure we're in control the whole time. But, we'll do good. We got it.
Kahari Jones with the LA Sentinel. Congrats on the win. Kiki, can you talk about just how you were able to control the game? You had 7 assists. You seemed pretty poised tonight. It was physical. You still kind of
0 turnovers.
Yeah, 0 turnovers.
Zero turnovers.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
Yeah, we did a lot of prep this week on handling pressure because I knew, that's something that teams have done to me in the past, try to pressure me and everything, get the ball in my hands, and I just got to be able to take care of the ball and, find my teammates and still get us into the offense. And, that's my job, so I really worked on that this week, just, being prepared for, pressure, denial, and I think I still had areas to improve in that today, but overall I was glad about how I took care of the ball.
Coach, as you said, they're a scrappy, gritty team, and they were kind of doing everything they could against Lauren tonight, but she was too long and too strong. What can you say about her play style, and does it have to change at all against those smaller and maybe grittier opponents?
Yeah, just real quickly, and I'll let you guys finish with the players, but I think the reality for us is that every team is going to look different, but every scouting report stops with how are they going to, try to double up on Lauren. And this time, not only did they send doubles, but the pressure on the guards were just trying to limit vision. And so I think every game is going to look a little bit different, but that's our job, is to prepare of what our best angles are and then be ready to pivot during the game.
A reminder, questions for the players first. Haley?
Haley Sawyer, SoCal News Group. JB, I think I saw you blow a kiss. Was that to the crowd or to someone in particular?
No, yeah, sometimes, they just be heckling, so I just want to give them a kiss, lighten them up. Just lighten them up, yeah.
I mean, you did that after, the scoring run, huge sequence of plays. So where was your confidence at that point in the game?
My confidence at an all-time high, always. So I just think I was just happy in that moment. It's fun to be fun when you're out there on the court. So when you're out on the court playing basketball, you're having a fun time. I feel like that's the best.
Jack Haslett, the Sporting Tribune. Kiki and Janiyah, as a team, you guys scored 25 in the fourth quarter, the most you'd scored in any quarter. And at that point, the game was pretty much in your hands. What does that say about you guys that you kept up the intensity like that as the game was going down?
Yeah, I think it speaks to our depth and the amount of people that we have that can come in and score and make plays. I think Coach Corey said we had 6 people in double figures and 2 other people with 9 points. So I don't think there are a lot of teams that have, that variability in terms of people who can score and can be threats offensively. So that's one of our strengths of our team for sure.
That, the depth, and also, too, just coming out that second half and making sure we kept our foot on the gas and wanting to have a different result coming back in the locker room than the different one that we had at halftime.
Dimitri Dorlis, the Mighty Bruin. This question for Kiki. Janiyah referred to Lauren as a cheat code, but she had a double-double tonight. And what kind of confidence do you have in her and the rest of your team, and what does it say about her that she can just pull out a double-double out of nowhere against the team pretty confidently, pretty easily?
Thanks, man. Yeah, I think we have the utmost confidence in Lauren. I think the way that she's really just come out and this season has just been so consistent in how she's really dominated every single team. It speaks a lot to her growth and her work ethic that she did over this past spring and summer. Teams can't really guard her, and I think we got to continue to feed her the ball, and she makes the right plays. I think she really, really improved her passing. That's one of her, best areas of improvement because she's seeing so many bodies, just being able to find all the great shooters that we have on the perimeter. It's really, really difficult for people to game plan for her.
Kiki and Janiyah, Joe Pachowski, the Mighty Bruin. What sorts of adjustments did you guys make coming out of halftime? That second quarter was a little bit rough. So what did you guys do differently in the third quarter to hold them to just 7 points in the entire quarter?
I would say you got it. We talked about rebounding. That was a big thing. Defending their tunnel drives. They really like to get down the middle and just making adjustments quicker within the game. I think that's something that we got to continue to do better as players. Just when they went on their scoring runs, to figure out ways how can we, before a timeout or before we have to, before Coach Corey has to come tell us, just be able to make those adjustments quicker as a team. I think that'll be really important for us.
We've got time for one more questions for the players.
Kahari Jones with the LA Sentinel. JB, I had a question about your toughness tonight. You was all over the floor, a couple and ones. Can you talk about the way you were able to just stay physical tonight?
Yeah, I think when we play more physical teams, it just I get more physical. When we play USC or we play Baylor, this Southern team was very, very physical. I don't know. I just feel like it's just the SEC in me that just comes out and just gets ready to go at it at whatever time. But I think I'm just physical in general. I just think sometimes I'm just having to figure out when is a good time to use it and when it's not, and figuring that out and making sure I'm not overusing it. You know what I'm saying? So I think playing against physical teams helps me bring out my physicality as well.
Thank you, players. You are dismissed.
Thank you.
Questions for Coach? Please raise your hand.
Coach Sandoval, ABC7. Kind of, if you could expand on when you said you earned the right to go 1-0 for next week, what is kind of the mental emotional challenge for you and your staff in the next 48 hours?
Well, I think it's, it's just a really clear marker that nothing is promised. And so we don't want to talk about, 6 games. We don't want to talk about, now 5 games. We want to talk about 1 game. And I think that the quick turnaround is actually really comfortable for us, especially with our history in the Pac-12, because every weekend we had a game that was on a 1-day turnaround. So we're really used to that as a coaching staff and in that situation. But I think it's just a marker and a boundary for us that, that's gone now, and now we have a new opportunity to earn another game. And so really it's just a refocus kind of thing for us. And I do think the kids, we've had 2 official visits with recruits, and we've had final exams in the last 10 days. And so all of those things contributing to a real challenge to be incredibly sharp and focused. And so I think it's we're now a little bit more freed up, and I think it's going to be really important for us to just be micro-focused on just that 1 game plan.
Tuning in with the LA Times. I know Angela's been here for a long time, and I feel like sometimes maybe she kind of flies under the radar, but for you seeing her every day, in what ways does she impact this team, the game, in ways that maybe people don't notice?
Well, you notice that we thought they were going to come up and guard her, and they have a 4-guard lineup, but she takes a lot of pride that if they're going to come up and pressure our point guards full court, we can go back to her and she can bring it up. And I thought she did a really excellent job, especially in the second half, of being someone who could just bring it up and actually help us get into our offense off the pass. And so I think that was really critical. And I think the other thing that flies under the radar with Angela is how well she can switch and keep smaller guards in front of her most of the time. We struggled a little bit tonight about downhill drives, especially tunnel drives. But overall, Angela's ability to do that is really remarkable for being someone 6'4", and it's been a really important part of how we've schemed in terms of the defensive end of the floor.
Ira Gorawara, Daily Bruin. I know this game just ended, and I don't know if you got to see much of the Richmond game, but they blew out Georgia Tech, 74-49.
I saw every minute. Mm-hmm.
What's the focus for Sunday night as you guys look towards this next round?
Oh, I mean, it's really similar to how we played Creighton earlier this year, and also Creighton in the second round of the NCAA tournament last year. I was so impressed both on film and what I saw today against Georgia Tech in terms of how they shoot the ball, how they share it, how they spread you out. I also was really impressed about how they used their length on the defensive end. They got tons of deflections, disrupted what Georgia Tech wanted to do. And so, they're going to really challenge us because, we and that's going to pull Lauren away from the basket. Now, Lauren can do it. Obviously, though, then we are vulnerable to, some of those basket cuts or drives. And they're a team that's really built like on layups and threes. And, the way that they play their 5-out motion and really share it. And, boy, they not only hit open shots early, they went on that big run in the second quarter, but they hit some tough shots in the shot clock, right about when they cut it to, 12 or I think one time 11, and then boom, they played great defense. In the last 2 seconds of the shot clock, they hit this really difficult jumper. They're going to really challenge us to get out and guard on the 3-point line and really be able to communicate through screens. It's got to start with our defense, and so that way we can play the way we want to play on offense. But really impressed with them.
David Yapkowitz from The Next. Coach, I remember talking to you at Big Ten Media Day. You called Janiyah a missing piece. She goes from being a starter at an A&M, comes here, wins 6th Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Just kind of what were your expectations, I guess, for her earlier in the season, and just how has she kind of met them, I guess, as the season's gone on?
I just think she's really kept a growth mindset, and she's just been somebody that we've asked her to really let us slow her down in order to then have her be more fundamentally sound to speed her up again. And you saw it, tonight in terms of how physical she can be. She has phenomenal timing on rebounds. If, they're going to send multiple people at Lauren, she's a great post-up player. So I think that I just think she's continued to have a growth mindset, and that hasn't been easy. Sometimes her minutes were up and down. She didn't start. Really credit to her. She said, I don't care about starting. I just want to get better. And, I just think especially in the last about 3 to 4 weeks, I feel like she's hit a groove of what does it look like for her to be an elite teammate, an elite puzzle piece for a championship level team. And I think that took a lot of courage on her part, a lot of humility, and her ability to own things and then continue to grow has been remarkable and much needed.
Dennis Friedman, News for Us Online. Coach, can you talk about the physicality your team had in the first quarter? You guys had 13 rebounds and a couple block shots.
That's when we're at our best, is we talked about our team not being a team that plays not to lose, but go to win and take possessions. And I think when we're physical, we're anticipatory, when we're talking early, when we're taking things away, that's when we're at our best. And, what we need to do is be able to use our depth and not get tired of doing it right, that the next woman up's going to execute the scouting report just like the person before them. And so the good news is we were able to play really reasonable minutes, and so I think physically we're able to respond and to be able to be ready to play at a really high level on Sunday. But, the reality for us is that needs to be how we're built, that we go take things. We don't try to hope we win possessions. We go dominate possessions. And that, even when it doesn't happen, then we need to refocus quickly, and that needs to get our mindset again. And so that needs to be sort of our DNA.
Mike Regalado, Bruin Report. Coach, you have talked about how this team is really built on defense, and it seemed like in the second half, the team really put the pressure on, only allowing 7 made field goals. How much pride do you take in that? How much pride do you take in how this team reacts in that situation?
Yeah, I first of all, I got to give credit to Tasha Brown and Shannon LaBeouf, who are our co-defensive coordinators, and we have a different assistant coach that coordinates the scout for every game, but those guys have really been the foundational teachers of our defense. And I just, our team is, Tony and I are co-offensive coordinators, and but both of us are keenly aware that to win in March, it isn't going to be built on pretty offense. It's going to be on gritty defense, controlling rebounds, taking care of the ball. If anything, we got to, get on those offensive coaches and forget 17 turnovers. We need to take care of that. But I think our team knows that that's something under your control. That's something that we don't need to be perfect at, but we need to be absolutely locked in, especially when we have a rim protector in Lauren the way that we do. If we can really sit in our stance and guard and force really contested twos, it puts us in good rebounding positions and it lets us get out and run.
Pauley, you get ESPN. Earlier in the year, when you guys were undefeated, I believe you said, you kind of had to play the role of bad guy in terms of motivating.
I felt that way today, too.
Obviously, being the top overall seed, there's a certain expectation that comes with that. So how does your motivational approach shift or change, or how have you kind of taken that role this time around?
I don't know if I've said if my motivational approach has shifted or changed, but I was fired up tonight. And I thought I needed to coach them hard, to hold the standard. I understood the expectations. I wanted my intensity to lead the way of what was important. And, I think I've shared this all year that we've been talking a lot about. We have a lot of talent, but that is not going to determine our ceiling. What determines our ceiling is our character, our choices, our discipline, our grittiness. And I didn't want there to be any question of what we were trying to earn. And I thought it needed to start with me. And I actually challenged Gabs and Kiki after the game. I was like, when you see me like that, I need you to rise up too. I need you to, I'm trying to communicate to you that there's another level of urgency in us. And I want you to take that and make it contagious within your teammates. And so, I was trying to set the tone to that end. But if I've got to motivate for the NCAA tournament, we have bigger problems. So I just want us to have a high level of urgency and a high level of discipline.
We have time for 2 more questions.
Haley Sawyer, SoCal News Group. How did you see London kind of ramp up that intensity and competitiveness as the game went on?
Yeah, London, I thought, did some huge things for us. I really challenged her to to create more catches, and because of the way she was shooting the ball, that was going to space the floor, that if we could create ball reversal and catches through her, and she could make a post touch, we can go inside out, and that's how she's going to get her best threes. And that's what happened, especially in the third quarter. But what I love about London is the way she responds to adversity. There's ups and downs today, for her. But I just think she's grown so much in her maturity of like, hey, what's my next right play? And how do I have next play speed that just takes me to the next thing the team needs from me? And I just have really been impressed with how she's grown in that area. And I think that's been a huge thing, in our Big Ten championship run. And I think it was a big deal today, too.
Last question with Joe right here.
Joe Pachowski, Mighty Bruin. On Sunday, Coach, you talked about how you wanted to see Pauley Pavilion packed.
Yes.
What was your impression of the crowd tonight?
Well, the crowd was really good, and I want it to be great on Sunday. Let's sell this thing out. Like, you've got, the first time in school history a number 1 seed, let alone an overall number 1 seed. You've got a really good Richmond team that's going to force us to go to another level if we want to earn another 1-0. This town is enjoying, let's sell out the Galen Center for USC and the Pauley Pavilion for UCLA. We are enjoying such a special time of a new level of women's basketball throughout our city. And these women have worked their tails off, and not just to increase their performance, but they serve their community well. They are true student athletes, and we want to do this with and for the community that we get to interact with. And so I think it's a huge opportunity, but I don't want people to miss out. You want to be a part of this team's journey. And so come help us earn another chance to be 1-0. And I think it's really, really huge. And on that note, as important as the crowd is, you all are really important. And just thank you for continuing the buzz, whether it's print media, online, TV, whatever it is. You guys have to help us spread the word of how special basketball is in Southern California is right now. And as you tell their stories, more people get connected, and that's how we grow our fan base. So thank you to you, and I'll see you all Sunday.
Thank you for your time, Coach. Tip time on Sunday.